Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve our Skillrack daily challenge using Python programming language. Before going to logic, if you didn't subscribe to our channel, then subscribe right now and make our work more meaningful.
Let us solve today's DC using Python programming language. The program must accept an integer k and it must accept k integers as input. That is seat numbers occupied. Then it must accept an integer n where n is the number of rows, where each row contains here integer n where n is number of seats in a bus. There are two columns and n divided by 2 rows. The seats number are arranged like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Finally, the program must print the number of ways the passengers can sit next to each other in unoccupied seats. The program must accept a k integers as input, where k integers are the number of seats occupied. Then it must accept an integer n where number of seats. In a bus there are two columns and n divided by 2 rows, and the seats are arranged in a pattern like this where the rows are always even. So n is always even. The seats are arranged in a pattern like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Finally, the program must print the number of passengers can sit next to each other in unoccupied seats. Two passengers. The program must print the ways of two passengers can sit next to each other in unoccupied seats. Now let's consider our first test case. Here the total number of seats is 12. So the seats are arranged in a pattern like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 11. Now the first seat is occupied. So let us change the number 1 as hash. Fifth seat, 5 as hash. Sixth seat, 6 as hash. And finally 11th seat and 11 as hash. Now we must count the number of unoccupied seats: 3 and 4, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 7 and 9, 8 and 10, 10 and 12, 3 and 4, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 7 and 9, 8 and 10, and 10 and 12, 2 and 4. So there are 7 ways where two passengers can sit next to each other. So 7 will be printed as our output. Let's consider our second test case. Here the total number of seats is 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. 8 is occupied, so 8 will become hash. 3 will become hash. 10 will become hash. 16 and finally 7. Now let's count the number of unoccupied seats. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 5 and 6, 9 and 11, 11 and 12, 11 and 13, 12 and 14, 13 and 15, 4 and 6, 2 and 4, and so on. So the total number of ways of passengers is 10. So 10 will be printed as our output. Let us implement our logic using Python programming language. K is equal to int of input seats filled. Let us consider a variable called seats filled equal to list of map of int of input dot split. N is equal to int of input. Now let us consider a matrix called seats, which is total number of seats in a bus. Seats equal to 1 for call in range 2, because a bus contains only 2 columns. 1 for call in range 2 for row in range n divided by 2. Now to check the total number of ways, we have to do some calculations. So we are using a for loop here. For seats in seats filled, for seat in seats filled, seats of seat num, let it be seat num plus 1 divided by 2 and 1 minus seat num modulo 2 equal to 0. Now let us consider the seat numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. If the seat number is 3, then row will be seat num plus 1 divided by 2. That is 3 plus 1 divided by 2. Now we have to add minus 1. So divided by 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 will be 1. So 3 is occupied in the first row, first index of the row. Now the seat number is 1 means it is in the 0th row. Now 4 means 4 plus 1 by 2 minus 1, that is 5 divided by 2, 1 minus 1. 1 minus 4 modulo 2, that is 1. It is a column. Now let us consider a variable called total base and declare it to 0 for row in range n divided by 2 for call in range 2. If you have to check the conditions, if call equal to 0 and seats of row call and seats of row and call plus 1, same row adjacent columns, we have to check whether the seats are unoccupied. If it is unoccupied, then total ways will be incremented to 1. In a similar way, you have to check for the adjacent rows. So if row less than n divided by 2 minus 1 and seats of row call and seats of row plus 1 call, then total ways will be incremented to 1 plus equal to 1. Finally, we have to print the total ways. Now let's run our code. Here 7 is our output, which is our required output.
Our program has passed all our given test cases successfully. Hope you guys understand. Thanks for watching. See you next video.